just a sense, are we trying to shut down communication? If anything, this city needs more communication. So I just want to assure you, when I look at this, and I don't think anyone's trying to do it, they're trying to become more efficient. And I want to say one thing as a councilman. When I signed on to this job, I'll stay to 2 and 3 in the morning if it needs to be, that everyone has a chance to participate. Democracy requires involvement in the citizens, and people say, why aren't the people involved anymore? Why do they not care? One of the reasons is because we're sending subliminal messages. Don't worry, we'll take care of it, you go home. And I don't think we mean to do that, but at least to a lot of people, because I got several phone calls about this is what this sounds like. So I'm going to ask the council to really consider keeping it as open as possible. One thing, I can tell you I have been moved by citizen comments during a discussion of a specific item. And I think that their input was valuable for me. And if I can be very frank, I get some meetings, I think we all get, what, 1,000 pages of materials? We are buried. I think the mayor made a very good comment about that. We get buried with materials. And if you're really a dweeb like I sometimes am, you read it all and you forget what was on the first 10 pages because it is just overwhelming. Sometimes a citizen comment will really help me. So I think that the closer we can get in a busy meeting, if you have all the comments by the citizens out here, and they're not accompanying the actual discussion where the decision's going to be made, a lot's going to get lost. So I'm not good. My argument would be to keep it the way we do it now. The other comment I want to make is I'm fresh from training. I took my 4 hours.
Did you pass?
We didn't take a test, which I would have been in trouble. But one of the things I want to ask is, will we have the city attorney vet all this with the, because open meetings law has some pretty interesting elements in it, and we need to be consistent with that. Will make a wry remark. What the state visited on us, it doesn't visit on itself. Okay. But anyway, and I understand my colleagues' frustration. I mean, sitting up here is very different than you all think out there. I mean, you just become overwhelmed at times. Consent agenda, one of my very favorite things. Interesting comment made at training on Friday, which I'll repeat. I felt it hard. Consent agenda should be for items where there is no controversy, where there is no problem. It's sort of administrative things. Our consent agenda now makes up 2/3 or 3/4 of some of our agendas, and a lot of it I find personally controversial. It shouldn't be on there. I urge the manager to make the consent agenda truly an item of consent, not an item of ease of passage, okay? And that's where we get in trouble with the consent agenda and why it becomes so pulling. I would like the citizens to, it's their money, because a lot of these are financial items. They should have the right to pull and ask questions about how we're spending their money. That's part of government. And I'll moan and groan, by the way, and when I go out in the parking lot, I'll complain to everyone how long I've been here and how tired I am. But if you sign on for this job, you sign on for the duration. And by the way, anyone out there thinking of running, meetings will go very late and you will be very tired, and that comes with the territory. So don't sign on unless you plan on it, okay? I would like to see a variable thing, and this is to deal with something we don't deal with frequently. If we have a feeling that 100 or 200 people are going to speak, maybe 300. And I did talk to the attorneys about this. You can have a clause written well that says if there are more than so many people, we will reduce it from 4 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever we ultimately decide, to 1 minute a person. just for sanity's sake, just as long as you give them a chance to talk. Doesn't say. And you have a reasonable thing. I'm not going to spend more than 4 hours on this topic, or 3 hours, whatever we determine. There are those possibilities, and I think we ought to take a look at that. But the one thing I don't think we can do is cut anyone out from talking. We just give open access to everyone. And again, I think I made the key points. There's several more. This was a lot. I was impressed by how much is on this agenda. It is impressive. I mean, wait until you see the backup material that goes with all this, and we haven't even gotten to fluoridation yet. Those are my comments. Let's keep the meetings as open as is sane. And by the way, I agree with you, and that's only because when you leave a job and you had to do it, and the new guy gets a better break than you, you're always a little annoyed. Okay. I had to come to every meeting in uniform by order of the city manager to save money, because we are such a thrifty police department that if we bring an officer in, it's generally on overtime. So the police chief doesn't get overtime, so Parker said to me, "You're coming to the meetings and you will maintain order." By the way, I'll show
Chief, you got that? Chief Gramone.
By the way, I'll show you the walk. Did you ever hear about the walk? We did psychological warfare in those days.
You'll get briefed.
Anyway, so I'm really interested in that. And while written stuff is always good, and my other comment is I'll take written material at any point. If you expect me to read it judiciously, get it to me as early as possible. But I don't want to deny access. My sense is let us open it up to everybody, because the one thing we are lacking in this country, and I as a police officer feel it particularly strongly as a retired police officer, because of all the organizations, police are suffering it the most, and that's alienation of significant portions of the public that don't think we care about them. And I don't want to contribute to that here or in policing or anywhere else. We need to be one with our people.
You good? Thanks. The